25 before the hour. I really don't get Obama. I mean, really. The things he says, I just so agree with. Oh, my. But it's pretty much BS. And I guess it's because he is limited in what he can do, but does he have to hang out with oil company executives? Does he have to continue to appoint Wall Street predators and lawbreakers and criminals to be his closest advisors? I mean, really? Is there nobody else? You know, sitting somewhere, where does Paul Krugman live? Does he live in New York? He writes for the New York Times op-ed page. He is a Nobel Prize-winning economist. He is pretty much right on just about every issue. Why is somebody like Krugman never considered? Why did Obama throw Elizabeth Warren to the sharks? Of course, she bobbed right to the surface and became a senator. Why does he do this? Do you have any idea why Barack Obama continues to thwart the policies that are necessary to get us back on our feet? Now, I understand how self-governance is supposed to work in this country, the separation of powers, the three branches, where the money comes from, yada, yada, yada. But to surround himself with people like the people he surrounds himself with, his closest circle of advisors. And there sits Krugman. There sits Stiglitz. And he wouldn't touch them with I don't think they even get invited to tea at the White House, do they? I wish somebody would tell the president that the rich white boys that he continues to romance, just kind of laugh at him. You know what this whole thing reminds me of, sort of, and I hate to admit this, but back in the day when Air America was first put together, and a couple of people who were involved in putting it together were dedicated to the stated principles of Air America. We were going to be a network of progressive voices on the radio. And while the lineup, there were only two people in the original lineup that had any radio on-air experience at all. That was Randy Rhoads and me. Nobody else had radio experience. I remember, what? Who else had experience? I'm talking about commercial radio. I'm not talking about Liz Wynn or Catherine Lamfer. Right, she was with Minnesota Public Radio, I think. But I'm talking about commercial, upfront talk radio. There were only two, Randy Rhoads and me. When Al Franken showed up, he showed up with 10 writers. Al Franken was demanded and got, what, $1 million a year salary plus his writers. I mean, it was just obscene. That's one of the reasons that Air America failed. But I'm not putting it on Al Franken. I'm putting it on management. Franken was going to take what he could get. Why not? But Air America was run by people who never had any experience in radio programming, radio marketing, nothing. They were just going to, hey, we're going to own a radio network. So what happened immediately, what they offered was block programming. If you wanted Air America, you took the whole schmear. You took the 6 a.m. to 1 a.m. programming. Or you got nothing. So some of us tried to explain that's not how it's going to work. So little by little, they broke the programs into chunks and so on and so forth. But what was going on? Air America had to pay to play. And Clear Channel, the people at Clear Channel who recognized a chicken just waiting to be plucked, said to Air America, oh, yeah, hell yeah, we'll put you on we'll put you in this market and that market. We'll put you in Miami and New York and Detroit and L.A. and San Francisco and Seattle. We'll put you on all these stations. But they put Air America on stations that were so low power, nobody could hear it. Well, not all hours of the day. And then they charged Air America an arm and a leg. Some of these Clear Channel honchos were laughing about that. You know, we're charging Air America $100,000 a week, and we're putting them on a program that normally would carry infomercials. And the people who were running Air America kept coming back and kept until they finally went bankrupt. Well, that's kind of what Obama reminds me of that. This whole thing with President Obama, he keeps going back to the people who are just kicking his ass, just left and right. And he keeps going back for more. Kick me again. Oh, okay. So he's starting to use the phrases like, well, I blame the Republicans. So we haven't said that. The Republicans are holding this up. The Republicans in Congress. He finally got to the point after 4.5 years where he can start to put the responsibility where it lies. The Republicans in the U.S. House. But he keeps coming back. Going to prayer breakfasts with a bunch of goddamn Christian fascists who would cut his throat and laugh while he bleeds if they had a chance. They would, politically speaking. But he keeps going back. Keeps talking about reaching out. Reaching out to whom? To this punk-ass hall monitor, Eric Cantor? To this drunk John Boner? You're reaching out to them? You're going to reach out to Cruz? Marco Polo? Who are you going to reach out to, Mr. President? But he keeps doing it. It's just like Air America. They kept allowing themselves to be jerked around by a bunch of rapacious bastards who just laughed all the way to the bank. Can you believe this? Air America, they're paying us $100,000, and we have them on a station in Detroit that you can't hear beyond Cadillac Square? I don't know. It just gets my attention. I look for patterns. I guess it's from the old LSD days. But, you know, anything that happens, I look for patterns. How do these patterns set? Is there a pattern here? How does it overlay with some other pattern? Ooh, look at that. You know, that kind of thing.